Good morning, YouTubers. Today I'm going to show you a quick, easy, and cheap way to make a metal forming bag using just an old piece of vinyl that we've had kicking around here from some project Sarah was doing, upholstery job, and then also a piece of Sunbrella that's just a leftover piece, a Ziploc bag filled with some Black Beauty sandblast material. You're going to need scissors, of course, and some spray adhesive. Now, the reason I'm doing this out in the hallway and not into the actual upholstery shop is because if this stuff comes out of the bag, if you accidentally puncture it, it's going to make a mess. And the other reason why I'm using one of the older machines, old Betty here, is because I don't care if I get sand into it. If you go to make one of these and you're using your wife's sewing machine, in order to penetrate this vinyl, the Sunbrella is not too bad. You could probably do that with a regular home machine, but this vinyl is pretty thick. I don't know if it'll show up on the camera, but it's a fairly thick vinyl. You do need an industrial type machine in order to do that. Now you can stitch it by hand, take a lot longer, but I'm going to go ahead, start getting this stitched up, and then we'll be back and show you the progress. All right, and we're back. So now what I've done is I've sewn this up. There again, not the straightest sewing job, but anyway, sewn this up, and I've sprayed some adhesive down in the groove there. I don't know if you can see it. Some of the scroll adhesive. Another important thing is to gusset the corners like this, because you know that plastic bag is not going to last very long. It's going to rip open, and once it does, you're going to be leaking sand everywhere. So you want to try to keep it into this bag as best as possible. Let me go ahead and get this in here, and I'll show you me stitching this up. So now we've got this stitched up. As you can see, I turned it inside out. You want to try to get these corners out as best as what you can, and then stitch up the top there. Didn't do such a great job on that, but now we're going to do the outer layer. This is really just a protective layer. You could, if you just wanted something you're going to use a few times, just do this with the vinyl. I'm putting the Sunbrella, Sunbrella coating onto this. I'm going to put some spray adhesive onto this just to help get it to stick to the Sunbrella a little bit better. I'm going to stitch up the Sunbrella, doing the seams like this, and then flipping it, you know, inside out or outside in, and then, like I said, and then we'll be ready to go. All right, and we're back. So finally got this stitched up. Is it pretty? No. I ended up changing thread on this thing like 5 different times. And ultimately what it was is the needle must have had a burr onto it because it kept snapping the string. I put thicker string onto it. I jumped it up to, was it a 135? Didn't make any difference. And ultimately what it was, the needle was bad. But anyway, you know, Sunbrella is fairly inexpensive, about $10 a yard. You know, some vinyl, you can pick that up, and you make a nice bag for doing panel shaping and that kind of stuff. Like I said, this should hold up for, you know, a while. Leather, of course, is always the best, but if anyone's priced out leather here lately, it's very expensive. So, like I said, for the short term and for a cheap way to do it, this is a good way to do it. Stay tuned for some more videos.